Greetings. Today, let's talk about lessons from history, dreams for tomorrow, resolutions for 2025. Hope this new year marks the beginning of new dreams, aspirations, and opportunities. It is a time to reset our goals, embrace fresh challenges, and prepare ourselves to write another chapter in the book of our lives. But as we step into this exciting new year, let us pause for a moment to look at back history, not to dwell on the past, but to learn from the history, to find guidance and to shape our future wisely from the history. History is a treasure trove of lessons, and today we will explore its steps to discover the wisdom that can help us make 2025 a meaningful and transformative year. As we scan through the pages of history, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Humanity's time on this planet is but a fleeting moment in the grand cosmic timeline. Throughout history, there have been several kings and conquerors like Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Cyrus the Great, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, and Hitler. They ambitiously sought to expand their empires, and even in some cases, they aimed to conquer the world. Empires have risen, they have prospered, and they have crumbled. Great leaders, no matter how powerful they are, great leaders have eventually succumbed to the inevitable passage of time. For instance, take the grandeur of the Roman Empire. It stood as a beacon of civilization for centuries, only to falter due to internal decay and external pressures. The Gupta Empire was known as the golden age of Indian history. Shivaji Maharaj, the founder of the Maratha Empire in the 17th century, he remains one of the most iconic figures in Indian history. Another towering figure is RajaRao of the Chola dynasty. A brilliant military commander, he expanded the Chola Empire to its greatest territorial extent, including parts of Southeast Asia. Similarly, consider the rule of the Mughal Empire, which is despite its golden age under Akbar, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. The empire fell due to weak leadership and internal strife. Throughout history, many kings have risen to power only to eventually fall, leaving behind legacies of triumphs and defeats. Yet, amidst the shifting sands of time, one thing remains constant: the enduring values of humanity and humility. While empires may crumble and rulers may fade into the past, it is the qualities of compassion, kindness, and self-awareness that continue to shape the human spirit. These values transcend the fleeting nature of power and remind us that true greatness lies not in the domination, but in our ability to connect with the others and lead with humility. One unchanging truth is that human nature remains remarkably consistent. If we look at conflicts like the ancient wars or modern ones, the driving forces are often the same. They are ambition, fear, greed, and the desire for security. But history also shows us that flip side, compassion, cooperation, and resilience. During India's struggle for independence, despite facing immense oppression, our freedom fighters exemplified the power of compassion and non-violence. In 2025, let us focus on nurturing the positive aspects of human nature. When faced with competition or conflict, let us choose collaboration. When driven by ambition, let us ensure it uplifts not just ourselves, but those around us. the rugged terrains of Greece fostered independent city-states. In India, the Indus Valley civilization, it thrived along the banks of the Indus River, utilizing the fertile plains for agriculture surplus. However, history also warns us. History warns us of the dangers of neglecting our environment. The drying up of the Saraswati River is believed to have contributed to the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. The dust bowl of the 1930s in the United States, it serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of environmental neglect. In today's context, climate change is a clarion call. In the year 2025, as we are celebrating New Year, let us prioritize environmental stewardship. Simple acts like reducing waste, conserving water, and supporting sustainable practices, they can collectively make a significant impact. Let this year be one where we align our growth with the health of our planet. Then let's talk about economic factors. They have always driven societal changes, revolutions, and even wars. The Industrial Revolution transformed society, bringing technological advancement, but they also created stark inequalities. In India, the Green Revolution in the 1960s, it revolutionized agriculture, making the country self-sufficient in food production. But, however, it also brought challenges like environmental degradation and economic disparity among farmers. Then, French Revolution. The French Revolution was ignited by economic disparities between the aristocracy and the common people, reshaping not just France, but it also influenced the global ideas of equality and governance. That is the power of French Revolution. History teaches us that unchecked economic disparity, it leads to unrest. So, as we are celebrating 2025 New Year, let us advocate for economic equality, whether it is supporting small business, ensuring fair wages, or promoting financial literacy. Each of us can contribute to creating a more balanced economic landscape. History reveals that civilizations are marked by cycles of growth, stagnation, and decline. The Renaissance, a period of remarkable cultural and scientific achievement, it rose after the long stagnation of the Dark Ages. Similarly, the rise and the fall of British Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Roman Empire, they provide profound lessons on the cyclical nature of power and the need for constant adaptation. The Roman Empire, what is the epitome of power and influence, ultimately faced decline due to internal strife and external pressures. The Ottoman Empire, which spanned centuries, it eventually crumbled as it struggled to adapt to modernity. These empires remind us that progress is rarely a straight line. It requires continuous innovation, resilience, and the ability to adapt to the changing circumstances. As we step into 2025, let us try to keep the cycle of growth alive. This would mean embracing new skills, fostering creativity in our communities, or stepping beyond our comfort zones to embrace the changes and challenges that lie ahead. Wars have been a constant in human history. They teach us. Wars have been a constant in human history, teaching us painful but essential lessons. Throughout history, there have been wars that have claimed the lives of billions and left deep scars on humanity. In India, the Kalinga War under Emperor Ashoka the Great, it was a turning point. The immense bloodshed led Ashoka to embrace Buddhism and spread the message of peace and non-violence. together, they resulted in the deaths of millions of people, shaping the course of the 20th century. The Holocaust, the brutal conflict in the Soviet Union, and the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they are just a few examples of the horrors that war can bring. The Vietnam War, the Korean War, and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, they have continued to wreak havoc, destroying lives and communities. These devastating events remind us of the immense human cost of violence and conflict. The First and Second World Wars, they highlighted the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression and the importance of diplomacy. The Marshall Plan after Second World War, it demonstrated how cooperation could lead to unprecedented recovery and prosperity. So, in 2025, let us choose dialogue over discord, whether it is resolving a personal conflict or advocating for global peace. Let us remember that the true cost of war is borne by the innocent. History shows that while technological advancements are undeniable, true progress lies in the uplifting humanity. The invention of the printing press, it revolutionized knowledge dissemination, but it was the collective effort to educate and empowering individuals that truly transformed our society. In India, the launch of satellites like Aryabhatta, they marked a significant milestone in technological progress. But it was the literacy movements and grassroots education campaigns that brought meaningful changes to millions. The internet democratized knowledge and communication, reshaping economies and societies in profound ways. Today, artificial intelligence is the latest frontier of technological innovation. Artificial intelligence has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges. However, the true measures of its success will not be in the algorithms we create, but in the lives we improve. AI must be a tool to amplify human potential, bridging gaps in inequality and fostering global understanding. And it should not be a force that deepens divisions and replaces human connection. In 2025, let us redefine progress. It's not about accumulating gadgets. It's not about accumulating wealth or advanced systems. It's about enriching lives, spreading kindness, and fostering understanding. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, we are presented with a unique opportunity, a chance to reflect on where we have been, where we are, and where we want to go. A new year is not just a calendar change. It is a fresh start, a new canvas waiting for us to paint our aspirations, dreams, and actions. And as we step into this year, we must ask ourselves, how can we contribute to building a better India, one that stands as a beacon of progress, beacon of unity, and beacon of dignity in the world? It's time to stop, reflect, and acknowledge the areas where we can grow as Indians. While India has made remarkable strides in technology, space exploration, and cultural exports, there are also areas that need our attention. Today, let us engage an honest conversation about these challenges and the possibilities for change. Let's look at the roadblocks that have kept us from reaching our true potential. And let's discuss how we can rise above them together. As a nation, we have so much to be proud of. And yet it is crucial that we address certain areas in which must be focused. One of the most significant obstacles to our growth is the slave mentality that continues to pervade our society. We often find ourselves worshipping celebrities, cricketers, and politicians to an unhealthy degree. This kind of idealization is not only misguided, it can be damaging. When we put people on pedestals and expect them to be perfect, we inadvertently dehumanize them and set unrealistic standards for ourselves. On the flip side, this idealization of often breeds toxic behavior where we ruthlessly criticize those we disagree with or dislike. So, what can we do? The first step is to move away from the blind hero worship and cultivate a culture of rational admiration. We can appreciate others for their achievements without surrendering our own sense of self-worth in the process. In 2025, let us focus on building a society where mutual respect takes precedence over mindless adoration. Let's be inspired by others, not to become them, but to become the best version of ourselves. Another aspect of our national identity that needs urgent transformation is how we present ourselves on social media. There is a tendency to highlight the negative aspects of our country with a tagline: India is not for beginners. India is not for beginners. We expect aqua insurance, poorly maintained streets, unhygienic conditions, and so on with this tagline. While these issues are real and need to be addressed, they do not represent the full picture of India. We are a nation with world-class hotels, thriving business, breathtaking landscapes, and a rich culture of tapestry. Why then do we allow a few problems to define us on the global platform? Let's share the beauty of our diversity, the vibrancy of our culture, and the incredible progress we are making. But this also requires us to work on improving our urban infrastructure and cleanliness. Let's not wait for someone else to clean up after us. We must take responsibility for creating an India that reflects the best of who we are. A nation that commands respect not through PR, flashy displays, but through tangible progress. Now, let's talk about something that has hurt our reputation deeply: the stereotype that Indians are scammers. This damaging perception often arises from the actions of a few, but it is perpetuated by our own tendency to mock those who try to improve themselves. Have you ever heard someone ridicule another Indian for trying to speak better English or for adopting a professional accent? Instead of lifting each other up, we tear each other down. We need to change that. We need to change that. We need to encourage self-improvement, celebrate hard work, and build each other up. In 2025, let's resolve to reject the notion that our dignity as a nation can be compromised by unethical behavior. Our integrity should be the foundation on which we build our identity. Let's show the world that we stand for honesty, hard work, and respect for others. There is also a critical issue that continues to plague us. That is women's safety in India. The fact that many women feel unsafe walking on the streets, especially after dark, it is a reflection of how much more we need to do to protect our women. The responsibility lies with all of us, and we must create a society where every woman, regardless of her background, feels secure and feels valued. We need better street lighting, improved surveillance, and a culture of respect for women's autonomy. It's high time that we ensure women can walk freely without fear. This is not just about changing laws or improving infrastructure. It is about changing our mindsets. Respect for women, it must be at the core of who we are as a society. When women are empowered, our nation flourishes. It's as simple as that. Another issue that hinders our growth is that hypocrisy we often see in nationalism. Many of us are quick to display our patriotism with slogans, flags, and public shows of support. But how many of us back up those words with action? We take pride in our country, yet some of us are the first to renounce our citizenship when we move abroad. True patriotism is not about symbolic gestures. It is about contributing to the nation's progress. It is about doing our part to make India a better place for all its citizens. So let's stop boasting about India's greatness and start demonstrating it through our actions. Our nation's strength lies in our commitment to fairness, justice, and opportunity for everyone. Then we have the issue of personal space. One of the most common complaints from foreigners who visit India is the uncomfortable stays they receive. It's not just uncomfortable, it's a violation of personal space and invasion of privacy. The truth is, this behavior stems from a lack of exposure to diverse cultures and a lack of awareness of how our actions affect others. As we move into 2025, let us make it a point to respect personal boundaries. Let's treat others with the dignity and respect that we expect for ourselves. We must also confront the internal divisions that continue to plague our society. Caste-based discrimination, religious intolerance, and regional animosities, they are all barriers to the unity and progress that we so desperately need. Indian society often voices concerns about facing racism abroad, highlighting instances of prejudice and discrimination. However, we must acknowledge a harsh truth. We perpetuate a similar form of discrimination within our own borders to the caste system, the caste-based hierarchy. It entrenched for centuries. It operates as a social evil that divides our people and undermines the very value of equality and justice we claim to uphold. If we do not address this internal flaw, how can we credibly advocate for fairness and equality on the global stage? The problem doesn't stop at caste. Religious intolerance and regional animosities, they also act as barriers to the unity and progress we so desperately need. These divisions fracture our society, making us weaker as a nation. While these issues are deep-rooted, history teaches us that no challenge is insurmountable if tackled with determination and collectively. What is required is a sincere effort to confront these prejudices, dismantle age-old stereotypes, and foster an inclusive mindset. The real challenge lies in bridging these divides and creating a society where every individual feels valued regardless of their caste, religion, or region. A society that celebrates its diversity rather than letting it become a source of discord. Inclusivity doesn't mean erasing our differences. It means embracing them as strengths that enrich our collective identity. In 2025, let us resolve to be the change makers. Let us work to create an India where the dignity of every individual is equal, whether they are from the north or they from the south, a majority or minority, whatever the community they are they from an upper caste or lower caste, then equality is for all. Our diversity is a treasure, not a liability. When we come together as one, united by respect and shared vision for progress, there is no limit to what we can achieve. Imagine an India where every child, irrespective of their background, has access to the same opportunity. Where no one is judged by their last name, the language they speak, or the state they come from. This is not just a dream, but a possibility within our reach, provided we commit ourselves to making it a reality. In a world that is increasingly interconnected, a united and inclusive India will not only stand tall, but also command respect and admiration on the global stage. When we lead by example, demonstrating that we have overcome our internal divisions, we gain the moral authority to address global issues like racism and inequality. In 2025, let us try to be that India, a beacon of unity, a beacon of equality, and a beacon of progress for the world to follow. Sanitation and hygiene are the issues that have plagued India for years. And while there has been progress, we are far from where we need to be. Open defecation, inadequate sanitation facilities, and poor hygiene conditions, they still persist in many parts of the country. This harms not just our health, but also our dignity as a nation. One of the most glaring issues tarnishing India's image, both locally and globally, is the habit of open defecation and spitting in the public spaces. While significant strides have been made to tackle open defecation through initiatives like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the persistence of these practices highlights the need for a deeper cultural and behavioral shift. Such actions not only pollute the environment but also project a negative image of India as unhygienic and lacking civic discipline. Spitting on roads, spitting on walls, or spitting on public transport, it spreads diseases and defaces our cities. While open defecation continues to compromise health and dignity, especially for women and children. Gender inequality is not just about ensuring women's rights to education and employment. It's about creating a society. It's about creating a society where both men and women are equal partners in shaping the future. Patriarchy dictates rigid gender roles that limit both men and women, stifling creativity, ambition, and progress. As we step into 2025, let us resolve to break free from these unhygienic practices by promoting awareness, installing sufficient public sanitation facilities, and installing a sense of civic pride in every citizen. A clean and hygienic India is not just about infrastructure. It is about respecting our shared spaces, protecting public health, and building a nation we can proudly showcase to the world. The change we seek begins with us. Let us not be afraid of criticism, but instead use it as a mirror that reflects areas we can grow. Let us not look at the challenges we face as obstacles, but as opportunities to demonstrate the strength and resilience of the Indian spirit. In spite of all these, our country is a pride for the world. A nation that has achieved greatness through resilience, intellect, and heart. India, our incredible country, is truly a gem on the global stage. I want to take a moment to highlight just a few of the reasons why India is so extraordinary, why it is revered, why it is respected, and why it is loved by people across the globe. First, let's talk about our place in the world. We have established ourselves as a nation that doesn't just follow trends, but sets the trends. Whether it's the G20, the United Nations, or the COP summit, India's voice is heard, India's voice is respected and eagerly anticipated. It's a testament to the recognition of India's growing influence and commitment to shaping the global future. And when we talk about achievements, how can we ignore the incredible feats of our space agency, ISRO? India boasts one of the top space agencies in the world, known for its innovation, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. But let us not forget our cultural heritage. India's culture, India's traditions, India's history, and the art, they are endless source of fascination. India has as the fourth strongest army in the world, because we are a nation that values peace, but we are also prepared to defend our values, our sovereignty, and our people when necessary. We are home to some of the most beautiful languages in the world, each with its own rhythm, poetry, and charm. From Hindi to Tamil, from Sanskrit to Telugu, Indian languages are a reflection of its rich cultural diversity and historical depth. Each language tells a story, and each story is part of India's magnificent narrative. In all these areas, whether it's space, intellect, diplomacy, culture, military might, or peacekeeping, India has made its mark. And it continues to do so. But the most important point I want to leave with you today is this. India is not just loved by the world because of its achievements, but because of its values. It is a nation that has always held on to its dignity, its respect for diversity, and its commitment to progress. India may not be perfect, but its spirit is unstoppable. India is great not just because of what we have accomplished, but because of the promise that we hold. We are a nation that is capable of achieving anything, a nation that is not just a part of the world, but a leader on the global stage. In 2025, let us resolve to build an India that commands respect, not through words, but through our actions. An India where women walk freely, where personal space is respected, and where every individual, regardless of their background, they are given the opportunity to thrive. Together, let us work towards a nation we can all be proud of. A nation that truly lives up to its potential. As we step into this new year, history serves as both a guide and a reminder. It tells us that while we cannot control everything, we can shape our responses, our progress, our actions, and our legacy. 2025 is a blank canvas, and the lessons of history are the brushes and colors at our disposal. Let us paint a picture of hope, unity, and progress. Let us enter 2025 with gratitude for the past, determination for the present, and hope for the future. May this year be one where we learn, where we grow, and where we thrive together. Here is to making history, not as mere spectators, but as active participants in creating a better world. Here is a year of transformation, a year of growth, and a year of progress. A very happy new year to each one of you. Thank you so much.